Welcome everybody, this is Ayub Malik and thank you for joining us on this King Yoga experiential session, group practice session, where we will be diving deep into the magic of yoga deep breathing exercises. And this is something that I'm very, very passionate about, and we're going to be not only talking about it, but also practicing it as well and experiencing the magic that yoga deep breathing has to offer to each and every one of us. And so, yes, for me, yoga breathing is most definitely a life-changing science, I would say. And I think if we learn to apply this science of breathing into our everyday lives, our lives will be quite literally transformed for the better. And I want to read a quote by Dr. George King, who, this is a picture of him here in yoga pose, where he talked a lot. He talked a lot, throughout. When you study Dr. King's teachings, you'll find he talked very often about the power of yoga breathing to change our lives and to benefit us in all ways. So I want to read one particular quote in this book, Realize Your Inner Potential, written by Dr. George King and Richard Lawrence. And there's a particular chapter which says, page which goes into, it really kind of sums up the power of breathing. And it says here, the prana being the universal life force, which exists all around us. There is this limitless supply of energy all around us that we can take into ourselves in different ways. And when the prana enters into the right nostril through our breathing, it's in its positive, masculine, warm state. This is the energy of creation. And when the prana enters through the left nostril, it's in its negative from a polarity point of view, feminine, cool state. This is the energy of preservation. So if these positive and negative energies are correctly balanced within the mental and physical bodies, then the result is as near perfection as mortal man can become upon our earth. If we breathed correctly all the time, then perfect harmonious balance would be the result. There would be no such thing as insanity or mental deficiency. In all these cases, the patient does not breathe an equal number of pranic charged breaths through each nostril. So that's a very, very interesting point. And he brings up a very life-changing point for each and every one of us, that our lives can be transformed. People who have suffering from any kind of mental deficiency can have their lives transformed just by learning to apply the science of breath. So I've got a comment here. So thank you for joining, Sue. Thank you, Dave. Sue Galloway says, hi, are you live right now? Yes, I absolutely am live right now. Thank you for joining us, Sue. And yes, so let me know what you thought about that quote, guys, because that talking about yoga breathing is something that I'm very, very deeply passionate about, very interested in. And I know it's changed my life, really applying the yoga practices that Dr. King taught, the breathing practices that Dr. King taught. And I know it will really change your lives as well. So just imagine if all the people, who are suffer from bipolar, depression, schizophrenia, dementia, all sorts of different labels that people give, the psychiatric profession give to different mental health disorders, could be resolved. That represent a lack of that represent a mental deficiency, as Dr. King was referring to. All these things could be cured by applying the science of breathing, by breathing in equal, the right amount of prana through the left nostril and the right nostril, depending on what the issue is, and a cure can be brought about quite easily. But this is something we take for granted so much. I know I take it for granted myself as well. And I know this is something I'm still learning to appreciate on a deeper and deeper level. There's always different and deeper levels of appreciation that we can give. And this is something that Dr. King talked about. He says, with these practices, these potentially life-changing practices, the more reverence, the more respect, the more that we treat these practices with reverence and respect, the more they will work for us, the better benefit we will get from doing these practices. And I know, I've had, you know, issues sometimes, mental issues sometimes where I felt down, I felt a little bit depressed, felt a little bit down, and not quite together sometimes. But I know whenever I've applied the science of breathing, it has brought me back to a semblance of balance, a much heightened mental activity, heightened mental awareness and balance as well. And I know that it works. It really, really does work, guys. So thank you for joining in. Sophie and Peter joined in as well, in addition to Sue and Dave Ferret. So thank you for joining in, guys. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts are, guys, about breathing and what challenges you have with breathing. And is this something that you need, that you would like to improve for yourself? And because I'm actually been preparing for a yoga breathing workshop, which is taking place at the Aetherius Temple, London, tomorrow from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m., which you're all warmly invited to. And I've been doing a lot of research, a lot more research into yoga breathing. And I've got a whole PowerPoint slide which shows a lot of the evidence, the scientific evidence to back up what the yoga masters like Dr. George King have been talking about the efficacy, about the results, the benefit, the immense, almost limitless benefits that yoga breathing has to offer. And so I really, really want you to kind of benefit from this in a big way. And so I'm going to share some of these, some of the research that I've uncovered a little bit, you know, during this session as well. So, so one thing that Dr. King says, and I'm quoting Dr. George King here, he says, when we breathe correctly, we begin to charge not only our physical bodies, but also our brain. We begin to charge the whole of our nervous system, as well as the psychic centers and the psychosomatic nervous system with energy. And this is what yoga breathing does. And this is what we're going to be doing in a couple of minutes' time. We're going to be breathing in more energy, more power, using the power of our minds to really energize ourselves and just see how it works, you know, see how it affects you, how it changes you. Just be open to exploring in the possibilities of these things. Because I think the more open you are to exploring and you know, just treating this as being like a student, and just following the guidance that I'm going to provide and the guidance that Dr. King provides as well, and the teachings that he provides, I know that your life will change for the better, just as it changed mine as well. So, one of the first things that Dr. King, one of the first secrets of breathing, of the science of breathing, and this is something that Dr. King talked about, and I'm going to quote him. He says that before we make any attempt at all to control the prana in our bodies, we must learn to breathe in and breathe out and have the same length of breath for both in breath and out breath. Now, this is it sounds very simplistic and something I take for granted. I know all of us take this for granted as well, but it's such a powerful truth to our spiritual development, to our mental health, our physical health, is learning to breathe in and out for an equal length of time and making a habit out of that. And because Dr. King goes on later on where he talks about how he says the average person, and I'm going to quote him exactly. He says the average man will, or woman, if he breathes in for the count of 5, he'll breathe out for the count of 3. Hence most disease in the world. So I'm going to repeat that again. The average person, in my own words, I'm going to repeat this. The average person, when they breathe in, say, for example, they breathe in for the count of 5, they may breathe in for the count of 6, they may breathe in for the count of 7, whatever that is for them, it will vary from person to person. They will breathe in for a count that will be less than the in-breath. And to quote Dr. King, hence most disease in the world. So I really want you to think about that. What does he mean by that? You know, when you breathe in and out unequally, it can lead to disease in this world. That's what I'm extrapolating from what Dr. King says. And he goes on, he says that when you are, and I'm quoting here from Dr. King, he says, when you are breathing out what? Unwanted gases. If you do not breathe out those unwanted gases, what happens to them? Think about that, guys. So when we're breathing in oxygen, nitrogen, we're breathing in trace gases, and which helps to nourish us and helps to nourish our cells and our bodies. And when we're breathing out predominantly carbon dioxide. But if our out breath, and we're breathing out carbon dioxide, is less than the in breath, what is happening to that carbon dioxide? Really think about that, guys. And what does carbon dioxide do to the body? You know, and this is something for you guys to research and think about. So learning to breathe in and out for an equal length of time is so important. It's an essential habit for empowering ourselves, improving our confidence, improving our health, mental health, physical health, emotional health. And it works on so many different levels. Just this one simple thing, learning to breathe in and out for an equal count. So I invite you now to actually, let's start doing that now. Instead of just talking about it, let's actually do it. So let's go within, close our eyes, and relax the mind and the body. Keep the spine straight. And erect. And imagine as though someone's pulling your head upwards. So you're lengthening your spine, you're creating more space between the vertebra. You're keeping the spine straight, but with a slight curvature towards the bottom of the spine where it naturally curves. Keep your shoulders back and down and relaxed. Fingers and hands on your knees or in your lap or by your sides if you're lying down. You can sit, preferably it's best to sit up while you're doing this, but if you wish to lie down, you can do that as well. But there's always a danger of you falling asleep, so we want to avoid that. And the key principle with this is to remain physically relaxed, yet mentally alert. As I guide you through this practice, bring your attention to your breathing process and put your hands on your abdomen right now. And one hand on your chest. One hand on your abdomen, one hand on your chest. And just pay attention to the quality of your breathing. How are you breathing? Is your abdomen moving upwards, outwards, and inwards when you breathe out and in? When you're breathing out, does your abdomen deflate and move towards, and your belly button move towards your spine? And when you breathe in, does your abdomen move out, away from the spine? Does your chest move upwards when you breathe in and outwards? And inwards as it deflates with each out breath. Just pay attention to the quality of your breathing as it stands now, as you normally breathe. Because there's so many people, I'm sure, that breathe very shallowly. And when they breathe very shallowly, you tend to attract bad health in all aspects. But yet when you breathe in from your abdomen, you learn to breathe in from your abdomen. You learn to move the diaphragm down with the in-breath. As the abdomen expands, it creates more space for the lungs to expand. So you can take in a bigger, longer, deeper inhalation. And take in more of the oxygen, nitrogen, and all the other more tracer gases that our body needs in order to survive, in order to function. And as you breathe out, just imagine the abdomen deflating, the chest deflating with each out breath. And at the end of each out breath, pull in your abdomen inwards and upwards towards your spine. Imagine like towards the upper part of your spine. It's a gentle push out of the bottom of the lungs, any stale air that can often remain trapped there from the bottom of the lungs through incorrect, unhealthy breathing methods. And then breathe in a full, deep inhalation, allowing the abdomen to expand, the chest to expand with each inhalation. And with each exhalation or expiration, allow the abdomen to deflate, the chest to deflate and lower, and pull in the abdomen, the belly button towards your spine to squeeze that extra bit of air out of the bottom of the lungs. And you should feel that extra bit of gush of air leaving the lungs when you do that. Now, this is a very important secret as well. This very simple thing at the end of each out breath, pulling in the abdomen at the end of each out breath. Just settle into this habit of deep abdominal breathing, where when you breathe in, your abdomen expands, your chest expands outwards, away from the spine. Very calmly, very peacefully, no force. There should be no tension while we do this practice at all. Keep the shoulders low. Allow them to be raised naturally with each in-breath, without force, without tension. Abdomen expands, chest expands with each in-breath, chest deflates, abdomen deflates with each out-breath. Pull in the abdomen at the end of each out-breath. And then lower the hands and continue with the practice of breathing in and out in the way I have just guided you on. Remembering to breathe to your own natural capacity, to your own natural timing, not to my timing. Just use my words as guidance points, not as timing points. Breathing in through both nostrils, keeping the mouth closed, spine straight, shoulders lowered, no tension in the shoulders or the neck. Keep the chin slightly tilted upwards, just gently to relieve any tension from the back of the neck. And just know that with each in-breath, you are taking in prana, you are taking in energy, you are taking in all these different gases that science has given a name for, gases that the body needs in order to nourish itself, in order to continue your experience in this body. Because if I were to tell you to stop breathing, how long would you last? How long would you live? Maybe a minute, 2 minutes, if you're lucky, and then that's it. So breath is life. I really want you to reflect on that. Breath is life. In all its highest possible meanings, through controlling the breath, we can control the mind, bring balance to the mind, bring harmony to the mind, bring expansion to the mind, bring purity to the body. We can open up the psychic centers. We can raise the power of Kundalini, the serpent power that exists in the base of our spine, and bring about great powers, psychic powers, mental powers, healing powers, powers of perception, extrasensory perception. All these things are within us. Better memory, better concentration, greater states of inner peace. All these things are accessible to each and every one of us just by learning to control the breath. learning to harness the power of breathing, which we all take for granted. And I invite you all to not take breathing for granted. Really respect the breath, honor the breath, revere the breath. Because without it, as I mentioned, we cannot last longer than a few minutes. We can't exist in this physical body without breathing. And yet, we all take breathing so much for granted. Just vow to yourself to really explore the benefits that yoga deep breathing has to offer to you. Just allow yourself to be open to receiving the benefit of this spiritual practice, this physical practice, this mental practice that will benefit us in so many different ways. Just reflect on the quality of your in-breath and your out-breath. And just instruct your breathing to become equal. Just notice if your breathing out is shorter than your in-breath. And just instruct your breathing gently to come into balance. So the in-breath and the out-breath become equal length of time in your own rhythm, in your own timing, whatever that might be, making sure that you're breathing in and out in a relaxed way, without any strain, without any tension. It's very easy breathing in and out, equalizing the in-breath and out-breath. This is a very important key, very important secret to health. Remembering what Dr. George King stated about how the average person can breathe out to maybe 5 or 6 or 7 counts, but they breathe out to maybe 3 or 4 counts. And by breathing in, breathing out less time than the in-breath, we hold in a lot of the toxins. We hold in a lot of the gases, and hence most disease, quoting Dr. George King. And by applying the science of breathing, we are bringing ease to dissolve the disease within each and every one of us, however it may manifest itself. Yoga breathing has the power to dissolve disease if we harness it enough. And what we're doing is we're really bringing our concentration, our focus, our consciousness on the act of breathing. And by doing this, we are attracting into ourselves more power, more energy on the breath than we would normally have access to. And this is a very important principle to remember. So on your next in-breath, I invite you to visualize a brilliant white light streaming in, charging every cell of your body from head to toe, healing, harmonizing, strengthening, uplifting, rejuvenating, regenerating all the cells, the internal organs of the body with this living stream of white light. Use your imagination, play with this energy. Imagine this pure, brilliant stream of white light flowing in with each in-breath, filling you up from head to toe, and with each out-breath, repeat mentally, I am now purifying my mind and body. I am now purifying my mind and body. If your mind begins to wander, just bring it back to this practice, this guided practice, gently and with love, knowing that the more you bring yourself back to a state of concentration and focus and discipline on this practice, the more benefit you will get from doing this practice. And the more we do this, the more we will burn the laziness within us, the lack of focus and concentration within us, and we'll start to enhance our powers of concentration. So whatever we choose to focus on, if we choose to make it a positive thing, like meditating on a highest possible concept of maybe a temple or a name of God or a spiritual book, whatever it might be, the longer we can concentrate on these high concepts, or even the universe, if you want to meditate on the universe, the more you will get back from that thing upon which you concentrate. The more benefit you will receive, the more your consciousness will expand by us learning to develop our powers of concentration. So if your mind begins to wander, just bring it back. You visualize this white light coming in, streaming in. Feel this energy. Use all your inner senses to feel, experience this white light coursing through every cell of your body, all your internal organs, your head, your neck, your brain, your feet, your toes, charging you up. And with each out breath, I am now purifying my mind and body. Say it with feeling, with meaning, with purpose, with intensity. I am now purifying my mind and body. And with each in-breath, in your own natural time, in your own natural rhythm, breathing in this liquid light, this brilliant white light. Every time you breathe it in, it becomes more and more powerful. If you find it hard to visualize, just make believe, just pretend, just know, feel that you're pouring in this white light into your body, into your mind, cleansing you, purifying you, charging you up. As you breathe in and as you repeat the affirmation, I am now purifying my mind and body. And on your out breath, I am now purifying my mind and body. Remembering to keep your in breath and out breath equal. And remembering to pull in your abdomen, your belly button towards your spine at the end of each out breath, which will allow you to take a longer, deeper inhalation and allow you to absorb more prana. Prana is a universal life force which exists all around us. Just know and feel that there's a limitless supply of pranic energies, of power, of confidence, power to transform our lives. It's all around us. There's a limitless supply of this all around us, right here, right now. Really anchor that thought in your head, in your mind, and then use your mind, use your concentration, use your brain like a magnet to draw this white light, this pranic energy into your body with each in-breath, charging you up from head to toe. As you repeat, I am now purifying my mind and body. And then with each out-breath, in your own time, in your own natural rhythm, repeat the affirmation, I am now purifying my mind and body. Keep the in-breath and out-breath equal. If you're finding it hard to keep the focus on all of these different elements, just dissolve the affirmation. Just focus on the other aspects of it. Imagine, pretend, breathe in this white light, this liquid light with each in-breath. Just imagine this white light is becoming more and more powerful with each in-breath, becoming more and more brighter with each in-breath. It's changing you more and more with each in-breath for the better. You're drawing into yourself more power, more energy than you have ever brought into yourself before. Energy that your internal organs will use, can use, your muscles, your bones, your immune system being strengthened. And with each out breath, I am now purifying my mind and body. I am now purifying my mind and body. Say it with feeling, with meaning, with purpose, with intensity, mentally. As you continue this breathing practice, this process of breathing in, allowing the abdomen to expand with each in-breath, the chest to expand with each in-breath, as you repeat the affirmation and the visualization of pouring in this white light into your body and into your aura as well. Imagine the aura, the psychic centers, being charged up with this white light, this power of healing, light, and love. The aura is a subtle body which exists around the physical body. Imagine it like an egg-shaped body, which is several inches away from the physical body, all around you. Just imagine yourself in a cocoon, this auric cocoon. And with each in-breath, imagine you filling the whole of your physical body and this auric body as well with brilliant white light, filling the brain. This white light is becoming more and more intense, more and more powerful as your concentration deepens. You draw into yourself more power, more energy into your body. And with each out-breath, you're purifying your mind and body more and more deeply. The more you repeat this affirmation with feeling, with meaning, with purpose, with intensity, on both the in-breath and the out-breath, I am now purifying my mind and body. I am now purifying my mind and body. Breathing in this liquid light once more, brighter, more intense, filling every cell of your body, all your internal organs, your aura, being lit up. If somebody could see you right now, they would see that you're being lit up, brighter than ever before, like a light bulb. The more you breathe in, this light bulb, that is your body, your aura, becomes brighter and brighter and brighter with each in-breath. And with each out-breath, you're becoming brighter and brighter as you purify your body, your mind and body, with the affirmation, I am now purifying my mind and body. I am now purifying my mind and body. In-breath, liquid stream of living white light, charging you up, strengthening you, harmonizing you, balancing you, breathing in through both nostrils. And with each out-breath, I am now purifying my mind and body. I am now purifying my mind and my body. And then detach from that practice and just go within for a few moments. Just observe, go into reception mode, receive what your body is telling you, your mind is giving you, what sensations, feelings, tinglings, thoughts, feelings, whatever they might be. Just become aware of what's happened. What's changed for you from before this session? Become aware of it, aware of how you're feeling within yourself. And then gently wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, and bring yourself back into the room. Open your eyes. And let me know, guys, let me know your feedback. How did you find it? I can feel a lot of energy all around me. I could really tune into that sense of like a vacuum cleaner. With each in-breath, I was breathing in this white light, just charging me up. It was such an amazing experience. I'm feeling quite high, actually. It feels quite good. So let me know how you feel, guys. Write in the comments field. Sue, Peter, Sophie, Ibrahim. Thank you for joining us, Ibrahim. Sophie's joined us. Thank you for joining us, Sophie. Kim, Thank you for joining us, Kim. How do you feel after doing that practice, guys? Let me know your feedback. Sue says, my mind is much more still now. Very, very good. Stillness is very important skill to develop, attribute to develop within ourselves, within our hearts and minds. And breathing is a very natural way to do that. And we can do that, we can breathe, we can learn to breathe in this way, use these principles when we're out walking the dog, when we're out walking with our husbands and wives, when we're out walking with our children. If you catch a spare moment, every single second, every single breath that you take in this way, using these principles, will help you improve yourself in so many different ways, guys. And so let's see. Hi, Ibrahim, and from Bethlehem, Palestine. And thank you for joining us. How are you, Ayub? I'm very well, Ibrahim. Thank you for asking. I'm feeling really good after doing that practice. Sophie says, always renewing. Yes, definitely. This is a very powerful way to renew, to reinvigorate, to help us to make a fresh start in life. If we're feeling down, if we're feeling, going through a difficult time, these breathing practices can really help invigorate you and really energize you and help to renew your outlook on life, help to renew your health, and help you in so many different ways, guys. So Ibrahim says, I felt tingling in my left leg. That's very, very interesting. Thank you for sharing that. Peter says, relaxing, refreshing, clearer concentration. Brilliant. I love that. Thank you for sharing, Peter. So do we say the affirmation out loud or mentally? Mentally is the best way to say it. And it can take a bit of practice to actually get used to doing this. And you bring in all these different elements into the breathing practice, but we've got to start somewhere. So that's why I guided you into doing these things mentally. So ideally, it's best to do them mentally while you focus on really slowing down the in breath and the out breath and making them equal. That's a very important point, as I was saying before. And because the more unequal the breathing is, the more we're inviting bad health into our lives, in whatever shape or form. And this is what Dr. King was kind of intimating in the previous quote that I shared. So let's see. So I hope that answers your question, Sue. So yes, always best to do these affirmations mentally when you're doing them with the breathing practices. I mean, you can do these affirmations out loud, when you're not doing the breathing practices, when you're out walking the dog, walking the husband, walking your children, whatever, going to work, traveling, whatever you're doing, cooking, cleaning, whatever it is you might be doing, you can repeat these affirmations while you're doing other everyday tasks. And this is something I try and do when I'm brushing my teeth as well. And I really invite you all to do that as well. You can use these affirmations, I'm now purifying my mind and body, when you're having a shower. This is something that I do. Whenever I imagine the shower is really cleansing and purifying me. So instead of just going into a mindless thinking process while I'm having a shower, or even brushing my teeth, you can make these everyday things that you do mean something so much more by applying an affirmation to it. So when you're having a shower, you could say, I'm now purifying my mind and body, and really feel that the waters of God are really cleansing, purifying every part of you. All the things that you don't want in your life, just imagine them being dissolved and cleansed and purified as this pure water. And you can visualize white light coming down with this water as well, cleansing and purifying you. And when you come out of that shower, try it, guys. You really try it. Next time you have a shower, next time you have a bath, next time you cooking, cleaning, brushing your teeth, use this affirmation. I am now purifying my mind and body. Apply it. Find a way to creatively apply that affirmation to that everyday thing, and then see how that changes you after you've done the shower, after you've brushed your teeth. See how you feel after that. Because whenever I've done this affirmation, after having a shower, after brushing my teeth, I really feel a lot more purified. I feel a lot more changed. I feel as though I've shifted a weight from my soul, from my body. So these are skills, the more you learn to develop the habit of doing these things, the more powerful they will become. And the quicker you'll be able to shift negative states, shift energies you may pick up from other people, negative energies that might weigh you down, psychic attacks even, you can dump all these things quite quickly, quite easily. So thank you for asking that question, Sue, and allowing me to kind of expand on that. So I'm sure that will be a benefit to each and every one of you. And so let's see. Ibrahim, more tears come through. That's very good. You're obviously releasing a lot more through the tears. There have been occasions when I've done these practices, and when you're taking in all this extra energy, extra power, and I want you to really reflect on that, because when we're doing this practice of visualizing the white light coming in, you could potentially be taking in 5,000 times more energy, more power into your mind, into your body, into your aura than you would do if you weren't doing this practice in this way. You might take in maybe 10 units of energy if you're just breathing normally, if you're just allowing the subconscious automatic part of our bodies and our minds to breathe normally, naturally for us. But by concentrating, by using the power of our minds and our brains to draw into ourselves this power and energy, you magnify the intake of energy potentially many thousands of times. And that can only have very positive benefits to each and every one of us. And one benefit that it will have is it will start to cleanse and purify our subtle bodies, our subtle nervous system, and it will start to push out a lot of negativity, or push out a lot of blockages, a lot of blocked energies that might be stagnant energies within us, and which could result in tears, which can result in tingling. It can result in many different things, and sometimes you might feel worse after doing these practices. But I would say that's a good sign. If you are doing these breathing practices correctly, then I think that is these things are very good signs, and a very good benefit as well. So let's see. So Ibrahim says reporting back better quality of breathing. Very, very good. The better quality of our breathing, the better quality of our minds, the better quality of our creativity for our businesses, for our jobs that we do, for our hobbies, and Dr. King said this as well: the deeper you can think, the deeper you can breathe, the deeper you can think as well. This is something that's echoed through the different yoga masters who also talk about the power of breathing, the science of breathing as well. And so yes, this is very good. So Sue says, let's see, Peter says, I definitely feel energy around me when I do this on my own. Uplifted feeling comes with it too. Very good. Thank you for sharing, Peter. Yes, these energies will definitely uplift you, will take you out of a state of, drowsiness, of where you might be feeling a little bit down, a little bit on yourself or with life or whatever. It really can pick you up in a big, big wave, and very quickly as well. So Sue says, I love that idea. Thank you. Thank you, Sue. Jill. Oh, hi, Jill. How are you doing, Jill? Thank you for joining us. Jill says that she likes the idea of using visualization. Very good. This is really helpful teaching. Thank you. It really resonates. Yes. And thank you for sharing that, Jill. And actually, this is very interesting, synchronistic that Jill is actually joining us on this session, because on Jill, we had the privilege of actually creating a video with Jill Brennan. I just want to share this. Hope you don't mind, Jill. I'm sure you don't mind, because you gave us permission to share your story. And Jill is someone who actually joined our You Too Can Heal workshop. This is a one-day workshop that the Ethereal Society runs several times throughout the year in different parts of the world. And Jill actually came onto this workshop, and she shared, after she learned the technique, and she was sharing afterwards how she started using this technique on her mother, and this is also something Dr. King talks about as well, just as an aside, that these breathing practices can also help enhance your spiritual healing abilities, potentially thousands of times. And Dr. King actually says there's nothing better. Actually, let me read this quote to you from Dr. George King directly himself, because it's very, very powerful. And he says, and I quote, deep breathing exercises are far superior than any other practice for enhancing spiritual healing abilities. So that's deep breathing exercises are far superior than any other practice for enhancing spiritual healing abilities. So just imagine if you're giving spiritual healing to another person, and if you don't do these breathing exercises, you might put out an energy that might be 10 times or 20 times units of energy into that person that you're giving energy to, spiritual healing to. But if you do a few minutes of deep breathing exercises, you could be potentially putting into that patient that you're giving healing to 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 times more energy. And that will only bring about far quicker and better results. And this is something that Jill actually shared with us, very kindly shared with us, a very powerful healing result that she had with her mother. And actually, Jill, if you wouldn't mind actually just sharing briefly from your perspective what it was. Actually, let me see if I can invite you on here, actually. Because I know there's a thing on here where you can invite another person onto the video stream, but I've not actually tried it before. Let's see. Actually, it's going to take a long time, but yeah. So, yes. So yeah, Jill has a truly amazing healing story to share. So I really want you guys to hear what she has to say about this as well. I know it's quite a few years ago, but it really touched me, and we created a video around this story as well, where after Jill took this You Too Can Heal workshop, she practiced the healing technique on her mother, and both herself and her mother could hear. She was using the healing technique to heal her mother's forearm, and they could both hear crackling going on inside the mother's forearm as Jill was actually giving healing to her mother. And it really kind of surprised them, and it surprised me as well when I read it and I heard this story as well. So I thought, we've got to get Jill on video and get her testimonial, and also one reason why I bring this up is because today marks the anniversary, the 61st anniversary of the giving of the sixth blessing, which is blessed are they who heal. So this is why I think it's very synchronistic that Jill is actually on this webinar, on this group practice session, because today is a date that we honor the people who give healing, and Jill is definitely a very powerful healer. And I know she's taken the healing technique further and expanded it in a different direction, and expanded on what she's learned from the You Too Can Heal workshop, and she's doing amazing work. And that brings me on to the sixth blessing as well, because the sixth blessing is something I think is a very important concept for us to understand and really integrate into our everyday lives. Because if there weren't people out there who wanted to give healing to other people, what would happen? If there weren't people out there who are actively giving healing in some way, shape, or form, whether they're doctors, whether they're nurses, whether they're chiropractors, whether they're spiritual healers, natural healers, homeopaths, whoever they are, this world wouldn't exist. We would have far more disease, throughout this world if it wasn't for these people who are inspired enough, motivated enough to want to give healing to other people. And without this group soul of spiritual healers, this world wouldn't be. I'm pretty sure of that. And this is why in this amazing book, The 12 Blessings, which I highly recommend, it's a very powerful book. It's of teaching and spiritual practice, where we believe that the Master Jesus gave a very powerful blessing to that group soul who heal. And I want to read a little bit about this. And this is what, in the words of the Master Jesus, he says, "Blessed are they who heal in these days of great pain and suffering. Oft times these ones sacrifice their own peace so that others may benefit. Thrice blessed are these ones for this holy sacrifice." So it's a very, very important thing for each and every one of us to do, is to honor those people who are giving healing to the world, giving healing to individuals, giving healing to their loved ones, to people they don't even know, in whatever shape or form. Even absent healers as well fall under this category of they who heal, and they operate under a group soul. And if we send energy and power to that group soul of they who heal, we empower them. We give them more inspiration. We give them more energy to help them to achieve even greater results of healing throughout this world. And this world needs healing, doesn't it, guys? And so let's do this, guys. Let's send a blessing to they who heal. So I invite you to do this. And so the way we're going to do this is by kind of raising our hands, fingers and thumbs together, palms facing outwards. I invite you to visualize a brilliant stream of white light coming down through the head. Imagine this white light cleansing and purifying the brain, dissolving any shadows in the brain, dissolving any malfunction in the brain, To see this white light lighting up the brain as it flows down, invigorating the senses, the eyes, the ears, the mouth, the nose, down through the neck, the shoulders, out through down the arms and out through the palms of the hands, and the heart chakra, which is a few inches in front of the breastbone, just about here, you can see. And then visualize 3 beams of white light coming out, and allow this power of love energy to flow through these 3 beams of white light. Really feel a sense of love energy coursing through you and out to they who work for peace. As I repeat, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read this whole blessing. If you just follow the words, and just request that this energy goes out to they who work for peace. Just allow this energy to flow. This is the key word, guys. There's no force here, no tension, just allow. Blessed are they who heal in these days of great pain and suffering. Ofttimes these ones sacrifice their own peace so that others may benefit. Thrice blessed are these ones for this holy sacrifice. I say unto you, man, he who in total disregard of universal suffering does search in these days for peace will find it not. For alas, ye are commanded even now, as ye were yesterday, to spread yourselves in sacrificial action throughout your suffering world. Thrice blessed are they or those who do this, or those who work for no reward in this earth, in order to bring some peace of mind to those who suffer. Blessed are the ones who lay their hands upon the fevered brow of their brothers, knowing that their request will be answered, knowing that great power will flow through them, like water through a river course. Blessed are these ones, for they are living their belief. It is indeed wrong of the so-called Christian Church to turn the deaf ears of dogmatic limitation upon the feet of these ones, for these are the ones who will be instrumental in bringing the light of practice again into the Christian Church, even though some of them regard themselves not as Christians. Yet by their very action, they demonstrate more Christianity in one healing path than their devout brothers do in all their surface prayers. I am Jesus, who stepped upon this world to bring the way to God through love and service. I now bless those who give service to me, to their brothers, and to God in this way. Thrice blessed are the healers, for they will bring light into my church. For they are the ones who, when the time is ripe, will lead my church. So endeth the 6th blessing. Continue to request and visualize this 3 beams of white light streaming forth to they who work for peace. Think of all the doctors, the nurses, the chiropractors, the kinesiologists, the nurses, the spiritual healers, the absent healers, the Reiki healers, the homeopaths, the color therapists. Think of all the people out there who are working to bring healing to others, who are working to bring relief of suffering to others. Just know that they come under a group soul, and you are sending power to them right now. You're sending your blessing, your love energy to them, to empower them, to help them, to inspire more people to become healers. And this will have a ripple effect throughout this world, this power energy output in this way that we are doing right here, right now. We are helping to add to the ranks of the healers throughout this world through this practice, knowing that more and more people will naturally be guided to become healers in one way, shape, or form or another. And just imagine if every single person on this planet had this ability to heal, had the same ability to heal as Jesus did. Think of all the miracles that he performed through his healing powers. And he demonstrated that what he can do, you can do. Each and every one of us has this capacity to heal others, to heal ourselves. The more we heal others, the more we'll heal ourselves. And this is what we're contributing to, manifesting more and more healers throughout this world. Because this world needs healers desperately. It needs more healers. There's so much pain and suffering throughout this world. Let's send our highest prayers, our highest blessings, our most focused thoughts, positive thought, through the visualization of these three beams of white light and the radiation of our love and compassion. The light of God that flows through us all to empower they who heal throughout this world. We offer our prayer to those who heal at this time, O God. May they be strengthened and helped and guided and inspired in all ways. We thank you for the delivery of the 6th blessing out of the 12 blessings to they who heal. We ask that your love and blessings may flow out to the Master Jesus, probably the greatest example of they who heal that has ever existed upon planet Earth. We thank the Master Jesus for the delivery of the 6th blessing, blessed are they who heal. And we give thanks to the Yoga Master, Dr. George King, for being the instrument through whom the 6th blessing and all the 12 blessings were given to humanity for posterity. And we thank this holy, respected Master, Dr. George King, for the spiritual practice that we have performed today, knowing that he is the fountainhead of so many of these King Yoga practices and teachings, and by offering respect and humility to the teacher, these powers, these practices, these King Yoga practices that we continue to perform from week to week, from day to day, will become more and more potent, more and more beneficial to each and every one of us. We thank you, Dr. George King, for the teachings and the practices of King Yoga. May this great Master be blessed and helped and guided in all ways. We thank you for all that you have graced humanity with. May thy divine will be done. Thank you. And lower your hands and your arms. Just bring yourself back into the room. How do you feel, guys? Let me know your feedback. Peter says energy follows thought. Very, very true. Jill, absolutely. Jill says, bless you. I'm touched that you remember me. Yes, how can anyone forget you, Jill? Very powerful story. And actually, Jill's story is on YouTube, on one of our videos. There's a video that I created called You Too Can Heal. It's on the Theory Society YouTube channel. And you'll see Jill's story recorded there. very powerful story, guys. Very moving, and highly recommend you watch that. So Sue says, just noticed the shoulder pain. I was experiencing greatly diminished. Amazing. Wow, that's an amazing result there, Sue. So shoulder pain has greatly diminished. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that result. Very definite result. Very powerful result. I've had so many results with doing these practices, doing these sessions over the last 1 year that I've been doing them fairly regularly. And so that's another one to add to the collection of results that King Yoga has to offer to our viewers. So Jill says, it was my first introduction to healing. Yes. So Jill's saying that Jill's first introduction to healing was when she came to the Aetherius Society You Too Can Heal one-day workshop. And she says that she has huge respect and love for the Aetherius Society. Thank you, Jill. Thank you. God bless you, Jill, for sharing that. It was about 5 years ago, so touched. Mother's symptoms improved. Yes, they definitely did. Sue says, thank you for a wonderful session. It serves as a great reminder and inspiration to carry on. Yes, this is part of the reason why I wanted to run these sessions, because I mean, I flag with my spiritual practice from time to time as well. So it's important to us to have an anchor, to be able to offer these kind of sessions where many people can join in and do these practices together, and it'll inspire you to keep doing them during the week as well. So you can listen to this recording anytime you want. It's here on this Facebook channel, and you can join in. And even if you can do these practices, learn to do these practices on your own, but use these as an inspiration, as a guidance points, as a reminder to help you to get back into it. Because the more regularly you do these practices, the more they will change your lives. I can guarantee you that for the better, because these practices have quite literally changed my life for the better, and I know that they will change your life for the better as well. So we've come to the end of our hour, and I just want to finish by saying we have a yoga breathing for inner peace, King Yoga Breathing for Inner Peace workshop taking place tomorrow at the Aetherius Temple in London, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. You're welcome to come and join us for that, where we will be exploring more deeply into yoga breathing practices, and I'll go more deeper into that than I can go in this 1 hour session, because there was a lot to cover. So you're warmly invited to come and join me for that. And what else? And we also have a 12 Blessings online service tomorrow at 5:30 till 6 p.m. You just need to go to 12 Blessings, that's 12 Blessings, 12blessings.org. And then you'll find the details for that. And you can tune into the live service where we send out the power of the 12 blessings. You got a taste of the 12 blessings through the 6th blessing today. And we do the 12 blessings. We go through each one of the 12 blessings, and we send this energy out to 12 different focal points. And by doing this energy released to the 12 different focal points, we actually attract back to ourselves 12 different energies of increasing frequency, of different frequencies that will help us in our spiritual evolution, as well as us empowering these 12 different focal points in different ways as well. So, so you're welcome to join in with the 12 Blessings online service, and thank you for joining in. And let's see any final comments. Peter, these sessions are really good, very interesting. Thank you, Peter, for sharing your feedback. Thanks again, Ayub. Thank you. Thank you very much, Ayub, for your support and your light. Thank you, Ibrahim. Thank you. God bless each and every one of you, and keep up with your spiritual practice. And let me know your feedback, guys. Just write in the comments fields. Send me a private message if you want to on Facebook. Let me know how these practices are changing your life. And I know that they will change your life, how they're affecting you. And if you have any questions, queries, comments, feedback you want to share, I'm more than open to receiving them. So with that, love and respect to each and every one of you. Namaste. And we'll speak again soon. And we shall be doing another session next week as well. So see you next week. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.